What's up, world? It's your boy, the Bearded Brother. And I'm here with another episode of the Beerded Tastings. And like I've been saying on all of season 2, if you haven't started listening or watching yet, get your life together because the guests are getting doper and doper. And so get in early before it's too late. But anyway, with this episode, I'm super excited about. I met these wonderful ladies at Beerded and Flow last in September while doing my power walking through, trying to get all the beer that I couldn't drink while I was still sitting at my collab table. But I have Ashley and Jasmine of the Cider Jawns, aka the Cider Queens. They probably don't call themselves that yet, but hey, I know a royalty when I see it. So,
hello.
How you ladies doing today?
Good. Great today. Saturday, it's nice out.
Right?
Good day.
The weather's actually coming. Yeah, let's not talk about yesterday.
Yesterday, where the sky cracked.
Yesterday was crazy.
It was like that yesterday. It was raining all day. It was a mess.
Yeah.
And cold.
It was bad. Yeah.
Cold and disrespectful. That's what it was. But
it is disrespectful.
Right. And so of course you got to drink during that, and I'd be upset if I don't drink at least a cider on a beer podcast. And I'm drinking the Diskin Cider Mayor Berry, which is a blueberry lavender cider here out of Nashville, based after our girl, Megan Berry, first woman mayoral candidate and mayor of Nashville. So, you know, we're still trying to get through our first in Nashville, slowly but surely. But hey, welcome to the South. What are you ladies sipping on?
We are drinking Ancho's Culture.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a dry cider. It has a 7.4 ABV. We actually received a scholarship based off of this cider. It's a collab, I guess, with Ancho Cider and Beer Culture. Mm-hmm. And also in conjunction with American Cider Association. So the ACA.
Look at y'all.
So
out here winning scholarships.
Right. Well, we got the scholarship. We got the scholarship from those people. Yeah. And the proceeds, you know, from this cider here is for that scholarship. So we're drinking because, you know, maybe someone else will also benefit from that scholarship. So we want to try to get people to, you know, partake and enjoy an Ancho Culture.
Oh, there you go. Hey, there you go. Plug away, please. This is what this platform's here for. Mm-hmm. But I definitely want to talk about that in the show. But just in case the people that are listening are not familiar with Cider Jawns, I know you guys started 6 roommates back at St. Joseph. Yes, I did my research. And now you're going to like CiderCon and things like that. You know, it ain't a game on here, but it's kind of a game on here at the Bearded Tasting. Just a little bit. You know, just a nice little balance there. But going to like CiderCon and things like that. How's that journey been for you guys since those days to now?
I feel like me and Jazz are like the same still, right? From college.
I think so.
Right. We're still same friends. Like we were also roommates our senior year. Mm-hmm. Like it was just she and I. So right.
I know. From 5 to like one other person.
Huh?
I was saying, like,
it's always
going from a bunch of people to like one or two people in the same living space.
To be fair, we were in like a townhouse, so there's like 3 levels, and so there's like 1 or 2 people or 3 per like floor that had its own bathroom. We kind of just had a shared like living space, kitchen, living room. So it was pretty spacious for a dorm. It's technically a dorm because the school owns it, but it was like a townhome. Okay. And so, there's 6 rooms. No, there's 7.
There's 7 rooms.
There were 7 rooms, but only 6 of them were filled.
Right.
Oh, wow. Right. Living a low-key mansion on campus.
Yeah, so we did live with a bunch of people, but I mean, half of them were our friends before we lived there, and then we made 2 new friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do it again, but
I don't know. It didn't bother me.
Well, we didn't like the same. So I like a hot house.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, heat rises, and I was only on the 2nd floor. So anytime I wanted to put this thermostat on what my comfort level was, I was sweating her on the 3rd floor out.
Not me. That was our other roommate.
So our other roommate was always like drenched. I was like, I'm so sorry, but like I can't function if it's not at least like 80.
Oh Lord, no.
Right. Like you said, oh Lord, right.
I understand that's a little excessive, but it just
even in our apartment when it was just us 2, I would go in her room and it'd be like
heat wave in there. Jesus.
I love the heat.
Oh no, I can't even get it above 75 on the thermostat without being hot.
Not gonna hold you.
What?
I try to put my heat on like 85 or something like that when it's like freezing outside, only because I have to keep my apartment cold for the most part because we brew in my apartment. Yeah. So like I try to do like a hurry up and then turn it off. So
Gotcha. Oh no, it never goes above 75 in our apartment. Me and my fiance's
then I'm gonna
apartment.
be walking around in hoodies and sweatshirts and things.
Well, yeah, that's why I got this on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's more like you, Jasmine, my fiance. She likes it warmer. I'm like, don't go past 75 now. It's gonna be a problem.
We are sun people. So like the heat, the rays, the sun, the light, we need it all. That's how we recharge. That's how we power up.
True, but I need to be cool because I already run hot, so like I'm already hot all the time.
Yeah.
So like.
But we started off. I feel like we're still the same individuals.
I think so.
We still enjoy a good time, just like we did in college.
There you go.
Which is why we're such good friends. We enjoy like the same music and like shows and stuff like that, like pop culture things too. So it's a lot of things that we have in common. So
yes.
Yeah. Gotcha. How'd you guys start Cider Jawns?
How did we start Cider Jawns? Well, we started when we went to Port of Core here in Philly. It's like a cider festival at the Navy Yards outdoors. So you have a bunch of vendors and food there. It's like a big shindig. And so we went because we were doing those types of things already, going to like margarita marches and stuff like that. So we love a good bar crawl. Mm-hmm. So, so that was already kind of within our wheelhouse. So then when we saw the Port de Core was coming, and I was like, oh, like that'll be fun. She was like, yeah, you want to go? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we went, had a ball, and we noticed the only part that kind of sucked was that you look around and like there's Black people, specifically Black women, there in attendance. So we saw, you give the universal like I see you head nod. So we were in there, but none of the vendors were of color.
Of course.
And then we tried a few ciders, and it was just kind of like, hey, like I think like let's just we could do this. Like let's just play around. So we started home brewing, just kind of like for fun, and then that just kind of slowly evolved for a variety of reasons into what we're hoping is a very sustainable platform in business where we are able to like elevate other cideries, especially cider people of color in the industry, as well as ourselves, highlighting what we like. And so, yeah, that's kind of how the Cider Jawns. I mean, we're Jawns. I'm from Philly. She's been here long enough. We stole her from Newark, and it just kind of made sense.
Yeah, I've definitely been here long.
She's been here long enough.
Long time.
Where it counts, she might as well be from Philly at this point.
I mean,
By the way,
now I feel like half my life has been in Philly.
Honestly, the later you stay here, yes,
it's right. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be in Philly longer than I've been in Jersey in a second.
I feel you.
Because we've been out of school for a while. I ain't gonna say how long, but we've been out of school for a while. You've been here since.
Been here a hot minute. You just looked up. It's been X amount of years.
Right.
Wait, how about I look up and we're 33? I'm like, well, where did that time go?
34, almost a month.
Yeah, you.
Say
Cling
you.
to the I have one of the later birthdays of our friend group. So when they all turn a year older, I'm just like, look at these old heads. I'm asking my youth.
So we are part of a larger friend group too. So that's also how so we have other friends who, I mean, they enjoy cider because Alita enjoys cider, so they do too. So they enjoy cider and those kinds of things are like wine.
They went to Port au Court with you.
Yes, they actually Kiana and Alita went to Port au Court with me the second year around. So yeah, we have friends who, and that's the other thing. Like we recognize that we have friends, we have family who also enjoy cider.
Right.
So it's like clearly there's a market for Blacks and for women and I mean it's just the lack of representation in the cider industry for Black women or Black people in general. We felt like, there's a market, there's a place here for us. So why not?
And we love what we're seeing with like Black brew culture over the last few years. And we feel like there's space for cider too. I mean, even in brew culture, there's really not much space for cider, regardless of your race. It's just mostly kind of focused on beer. But I was like, oh no, we're here too. Drinking cider. Yeah, we do. Yeah. And like wine has its own lane and people who love tequila have their own lane and the cognacs and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, beer's having a moment. Beer culture is having a moment. Cider can have a moment too.
All right. Do you feel like that moment's coming anytime soon or is it already here?
I think it's bubbling, but it's here basically.
Yeah, because after going to CiderCon, it was like, oh, this is lit. Like,
oh, it was sick.
Oh, yeah, I saw y'all's post on Instagram. I was like, damn, I should have got me a ticket and try to sneak up there.
I really wish that we got to like, I don't know, broadcast more of what we
of everything
saw
we did
there and everything that we did, right? Because even just like the cider shares and all that, like it was so much fun. And just getting to like meet people, like we came back with like cases of stuff.
Yes.
So it was a good time. CiderCon was a good time.
Where was it again?
You learned a lot too,
for sure.
I was asking, where was it again?
Richmond.
Richmond, okay.
Richmond, Virginia. Yep. So we packed up my car and drove on down.
Oh, okay. That's about what, like a 6-7 hour drive? 8?
Well, if it was a 6 hour drive, I wouldn't have did it. It was only 4.
Yeah, it was only 4.
I don't know anything really up near the Mason-Dixon line when it comes to driving.
No. And I was telling her, I was like, and I've done road trips before, but I'm usually with one of my best friends. And so we kind of like split the drive. And 4 hours really isn't a long drive. Plus, she drove the whole way to Pittsburgh, which is also 4 hours. So I was like,
that was 5.
Oh, sorry. I owe her an hour driving.
That was 5.
And so I was like, I could beast this to Richmond. So we woke up at like 4 a.m. to get down there on time for a tour that we had at 10. And I realized that 4 hours is my max. Anything more than 4 hours, I need to switch. I need to sleep. I need to stand up, something. So, but it was good. It was great. We learned a lot. We met a lot of people. I just really enjoyed meeting other cider people that we don't normally get to have contact with because they're in like Nebraska, Utah, Seattle, Oregon. You know what I mean? Seattle. So so that kind of fellowship like that was fun.
And also getting to meet other people of color in the cider industry as well. So that was very cool actually. We got to meet a couple of other Black women who are cider masters or whatever at other cideries. So yeah, it was cool to meet them, to talk to them, and just to see like, okay, there is a place here for us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Okay, yeah, and that's awesome that you were able to find other people of color in cider. Because I wanted to ask you guys is like going for the core for the first time to now. How do you see Cider Jawns fitting into that moment that is bubbling, and how has the scene changed in general as you're going through trying to find your space in the cider industry?
Well, everyone was excited to meet us actually because they're excited for what we're doing in the cider industry. Like, so they're excited for us to, you know, bring the exposure that we're doing to the urban, I guess, if you want to call it, community. And also like, right, just letting people know, because our whole platform is that we want to make sure that our folks, our people know about cider and know that you don't have to, if you don't like wine, if you don't like beer, or there's just an alternative to wine and beer or hard alcohol, like you can drink a cider. And cider isn't just apple juice. Like there's different types of cider. There's dry ciders, there's semi-sweet, there's all types, and then different flavors. Like you can go crazy with the different flavors of cider. So we just want people to know that. And I think that the cider companies are appreciative of us doing that with our platform. And I think they dig us. Like they're definitely like, whatever y'all need, whatever y'all want, like and we're glad to like help you guys or give you guys this. And it's just like, it's very, very a welcoming community, I will say. So I think that they are very excited for us. People are excited to work with us. Yes. Which I think that we weren't I don't think we realized that until we went to CiderCon. Yeah. And people were like, "Oh, the Cider Jawns." And we were like, "What?"
And not in a bad way. We just it's a wonderful thing. Yeah, no, and it's so, I think it speaks to the industry as a whole of how collaborative cider makers are and the whole industry is. And so we're also in cider school, and one of the things that they do talk about is that because of how small of a subsection they are, they see anyone winning in cider as the entire industry winning. So they're very supportive and collaborative versus other industries, like, which might be a little bit more competitive depending on how oversaturated they are. And so when you meet people and then, like she said, like they're like, "Oh, like anything you guys need, da da da," and it's just like, wow, like they really, it's one thing for you to hear it, and then it's another thing for you to see it and feel it. Right. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is how they are, which we love. Like, we love working with people. We love meeting people, talking to people. So that collaborative energy is fantastic.
That's awesome. I love that. The cider industry, I don't know too much about it myself, because I'm more, as y'all know, I'm way more on the beer side. I work in a brewery. I influence here in Nashville or do the best I can and things like that. So it's just like, I don't know too much about cider. So all I know is it's apples and something else and then cider. I don't know the process. Like, from picking the apples to having this in your glass, what is that process?
Wow. Well, you have to, bare bones, you have to just juice and ferment your juice. There's techniques and things into that, but to not overly complicate it and bore people with the details. That's essentially what it is. It's just fermented apple juice with yeast.
Yeah, sulfites.
Yeah.
There's sulfites involved. There is back sweetening, or even, I don't know. There's different things that you can do with cider.
You can do so much with it, which is why we love what we do, because we could just highlight it all.
And we experiment a lot.
Yes, we do.
We have some happening going on that we got to look at tomorrow.
Oh, y'all have one brewing now or fermenting right now?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do. So
it's in her closet.
Yes, it is in my closet, because that's like the coolest place, I guess.
Yep.
So it's like I have like a section, in the back. So it's just cool. It's dark. sit back there. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Like the cider industry, it's a lot of science. Like so in cider school, last week was it chemistry?
That was rough.
And then it's like a biochem or something like that. I think next week. So
I'm struggling.
It's definitely been a wild ride learning about. It's a lot of math and science. So yeah, well, even when we were at CiderCon and we went to some of the sessions, and the sessions were like they were saying all these words and stuff. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I didn't know that. We weren't doing that. And like, so you just learn new things. And just talking to people though, some people let their like wild fermentation and all those, and some other people are like, no, you can't. And so it's different things. People do different things based off of the different results that they want.
Yes.
So, and to be quite honest, I feel like some of them get the same results. We learned about ice cider. We never knew about ice cider. And it's the most magnificent cider I've ever tasted.
It kind of makes sense given where we live. Like it's
right.
Like if there's so the process that they do, it's like they allow the apples to completely freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So they're frozen, and it just, the end product, because it's frozen, is different. And so I think the ones we have are from upstate New York, and then where's Eden? Eden is
Michigan, maybe.
Yeah, places that are a lot colder than here. So
yeah.
I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't get an ice cider in Tennessee.
No, not at all. No. Not at all.
What's your snow like? It's just like a dusting, if it even does that.
We got pretty good snow about a week and a half ago. We got about 6 or 7 inches.
Really? 6 inches?
But that, right?
Are y'all even prepared for that?
No.
Right.
Every time it happens, it's every like few years. It doesn't happen every year. It's like every like 5-6 years. And when it happens, emergency? Yes.
I was like, I remember like at like half
milk,
inch and like
gone. As soon as people hear snow and it's more than an inch, all the necessary essentials are gone. Like everybody gets like 5 loaves of bread. Like, it's like you're going to be snowed in 3 days. It's fine. Like just get the shop normally and maybe get 1 or 2 extra things if you know snow's coming. You don't have to get the whole shelf and whoop somebody's ass in the aisle.
They're never going to leave the house again. There's something about being stuck in the house and then that translating to a shortage of toilet paper that just never makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got anxiety issues, like
that's weird. I don't know, but I'm so sorry y'all had 6 inches of snow. That's
yeah. If you could ever get your hands on some ice cider,
yes,
I advise
you to do so. Oh, I definitely will. Like, what makes the apples iced, and what
like they're
happens?
Sweeter, I feel like it feels like it tastes like I don't know. I'm not sure because we haven't had any. Like we just tasted
the chemistry of it. I'm not sure what goes on in there, but the taste of it, especially knowing. So a lot of ciders are dry, and so they allow, because another thing in the industry that they like is to allow the fruit to speak for itself. Because sometimes when you back sweeten with artificial flavoring, you do lose the taste of the apple, which is the whole point of wanting to highlight an apple. But so they tend to be dry, but this is very sweet.
At least the ones we've tasted were sweet.
Yeah, and I don't think that she back sweetens with anything too crazy. So it's just. And the process that she uses in making it with her apples being frozen and her juice being frozen just produces,
not for nothing,
this residual sugar that is fantastic.
I say this all the time, and maybe, I don't know, but
I know what you're about to say, and you're right.
Black people like sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, and when we first entered the cider industry, like, I think maybe we were taken aback because even we were saying like last week, like our palates have evolved because
we won't say what, but there were some ciders that we tried initially that we were kind of like, those were okay. And then
I didn't like them.
And then we had them again months later
And I was like, oh, this is good. This is literally, I was like, oh, I can drink all of
No,
these.
but she was like, they must have changed their recipe. I was like,
Right.
I
I
don't
was
think
like,
they did, girl. I think we changed.
Or what? Right. I think it's that we have, because we've been trying so many different ciders and giving people like, you know, a chance and opening like our whole idea of what cider is supposed to taste like. So I think that a lot of Black people in like, I mean, I'm sorry, but in our liquor stores, they have the commercialized ciders. So you'll see like Angry Orchard,
Big
but
ones.
the Angry Orchards that are in those stores they're not the dry ones that we've tasted.
Yes. Because Angry Orchard knows that they can make this for these people, and they have the capacity to. Because what is that, Samuel Adams?
Yeah,
or
I don't
Boston
know.
Brew,
but
they're owned by conglomerate.
But so the commercial ciders are really sweet, and that's the ones that I guess people are normally used to. But then once we started tasting like I guess like the craft ciders or the smaller cideries, a lot of them are dry, and they have like funky taste or smell and those kinds of things to it. Yes. And I think
it can get vinegary for somebody who might not necessarily be able to pick up on some of those
like ACV-ish.
Yeah, it could get real apple cider vinegary sometimes.
Right. So
now, I like ACV, so I don't mind it.
But I know that wouldn't be like a commercial like I don't know. I won't say that it won't, because that's our whole point. We want people to know that is also an aspect of cider. Like cider isn't just this sweet stuff. But I mean, like I said, Black people, we like sweet cider. So when we make a cider, we initially were making a dry cider, not knowing that that's what we were making. We were like, this is disgusting. And we wanted a sweet cider.
Our first batch was not that bad.
I didn't like it. I had to back sweeten it with some stuff. I was like,
I didn't think it was that bad.
I thought back sweetened.
It was
with
our first
artificial
one and
flavoring, and I was like,
thought it did really good. I think we did. So we were super ambitious. Rather than ferment juice, like rather than go get juice and just ferment that so we can get better at fermenting, we decided to do it like, well, we're going to do this like for real. So we went and got apples. We got different varieties of apples from multiple orchards, figured out the ratios of the different apple varieties, and we created our own blend. I maintain that our blend tastes better than some of the apple ciders. Some of the apple ciders that you could buy in the supermarket, our blend tastes better than that. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I'm saying that because
it was good.
And then we fermented that. That's a lot of work.
Okay.
And like legit, like bushels of apples.
Oh my
like
God.
in my kitchen.
Pressing.
Like,
we ain't doing that no more.
We cannot.
That's not sustainable. Just because it was a lot. It was a lot.
So now we just try to buy juice, and even that is like a big to do sometimes. So
yeah,
that's actually how the Cider Jawns like started because we were doing that, and then the pandemic hit. And it's like we can't go out and do this anymore, really. So what do we do next? And so we started just like buying ciders and highlighting them. And that's when we started the Cider Jawns on Instagram. So
yes,
that's how all of that started.
Because we were buying cider and drinking them and just kind of talking about it. Because, we were home brewing. So we would just pick up cider, drink them, and like, okay, we like this about this one, we like this about that one, looking it up. Some of these places tell you what apples are in it. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe we should try that variety if we can get our hands on it. Like Pennsylvania is pretty farm heavy, so we can get our hands on a pretty good amount of apples. And we didn't think to put it on Instagram until May. So we had been doing this for at least a year, right?
It's been a year, I guess, next month.
No, before we got on Instagram, we were doing it. We were homebrewing for at least a year.
We
were homebrewing for at least a year or so before we even decided to hop on and tell people, because we got to let the people know that we out here.
Yeah. we were homebrewing. People were like,
yeah, we would do little Insta stories and like show like our fermenter and stuff, and people are like, "What is that?
Yeah, what are you doing? It looked like a science project."
It does. It did look like a science project. I was like, I think we should do.
And then we would try to tell or explain it to our friends who would ask, like, and then everyone's always like, "Well, can we try? Can we taste?" And we're just like,
No.
We're very like,
Yes.
no one can try this. No one can taste
To
this.
this day, no one has tried anything we've made but us. And
My dad tasted it one time.
Oh, he did when
My
he
dad
came.
tasted
Oh,
it
yes,
one
he
time.
did when he came down.
Mm-hmm. But outside of my dad,
That
it's
was
just been us.
no, it's just us and her dad.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, y'all just protecting y'all's product. That's all that means. Y'all trying to protect it. So
get better
ain't
at,
no
like,
thing about that.
being confident that we can make something that people would like.
Well, now we know though. Because
We know now.
I think because right now that our palates have like evolved, that now we're just like we just have to get other people to come along, bring them on along on that ride with us. That's all, really, honestly and truly. Like we were there. Now it's just a matter of like showing everybody else, like, yeah, we were once y'all. We had that same mentality about cider, and now we just want to, enlighten y'all.
Yeah, there's a cider for everybody. There's
y'all.
definitely a cider for everybody. Take people through a journey because you can know all that you need to know about the industry, but if you don't like connect with people, then what good is it? Like, what are you selling? Who are you selling to? Like, you're making cider, and if you put it on shelves because you want people to drink it, you have to connect with people. You got to meet people where they're at. Like, we know who we want our audience to be. We have to meet them where they are,
right? And they like sweet.
And I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Because I personally think that the industry could use some shifting in that, because it's like that with wine too, to a certain extent, where the drier wines are seen as like more sophisticated, or like you don't really know wine if you like a sweet Riesling as opposed to a dry Riesling. It's like, no, people like what they like and you shouldn't be shamed for your tastes. And so if you like sweet ciders, we'll give you a sweet cider, but then we'll also say, if this is what you like about the sweet, here's this, this, and this, and it's not as sweet, but these flavors will come through, and then hopefully you can appreciate that.
What I really, really would like is a semi-dry cider, but it's flavored, right? So you get some like how we poured at Barrel and Flow Fest. It's the plum. It still had a plum ginger. So we want.
Oh yeah,
Did you get to try ours?
I did. I came by a couple times. And I was gonna gas y'all up about that. I was like, that was one of my favorite things. Like, I'm not even saying that because you're on my screen. I'm talking to y'all. Like, I really enjoyed y'all's cider with the plum cider on the apple in there.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, shouts out to them for being smart and selecting y'all.
Right, we're actually going out to them 2 weeks.
Oh, is it in 2 weeks?
Yes, it's 2 weeks.
Oh, I gotta put in my time in my job.
Yeah, we're going out there in 2 weeks to kind of revamp.
Yeah, the time is flying. So her saying 2 weeks is like, I have not told anybody on my team that I will be out. No,
I did mine that day.
Oh, that was so smart.
We met up with them at CiderCon. Like, we had like a whole lunch and we talked, and we're gonna meet up with them to try to revamp our Monarch cider. Right? And do a tasting here for our family and friends, because no one got to come to Pittsburgh to taste it in Pittsburgh. Yeah, so
I got you. They didn't try to distribute it.
No, so what they did was they had it on tap at, I think, Mike's Bar.
I think Mike's Bar in Pittsburgh bought a bunch of the collabs to put on tap.
They did, yeah. I popped in over there before I left, and they had a bunch of stuff.
I wish we got a chance to go.
Right, we should have.
So we were on tap there, and then obviously at Plowman's, in his place, we were on tap there, obviously.
And it was just made for the
collab.
The collab. So, and that was the most plums, because they have an orchard. Well, they have a farm.
Yes. So
they have a farm.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And that was like they haven't seen that many plums on their farm in years since they.
Let me tell you something about those cherubs.
They're cherry plums, like a hybrid. They're so good,
and I don't even like cherries, but she doesn't.
Delicious. Yeah, so we use those in our cider. So now we just trying to revamp it and see if we can tweak it a little, because all of that was also done in a very, very short period of time. And a lot of people don't know that.
So I think we met Ben at a pop-up. So we, in us doing our joint business, we would go, we go to different cideries and stuff like that, but we try to stay connected to see who's doing pop-ups where. And so we saw that Plowman Cider was doing a pop-up down in South Philly. So we popped up and we're talking to him, and I guess he felt like, hey, like we should work with these girls, and so he came to us about the collab maybe a week or so later. But that was still in what, like June, July?
That was like July.
Yeah, you know, Barrel was in September, so we kind of had to move pretty quick. So we went up there, we crushed all the plums with our bare hands. I mean, what was it, 600 pounds? Yeah, with our bare hands, and got that to ferment in. And because he already has like a cidery, so that part was a little bit easier on the blending part, and then figuring out the ratio of plum to ginger that we wanted and getting it blended.
Yeah, so that all happened very fast.
Very quickly.
Oh yeah, trust me, that's the same with my collab as well. I asked in end of June, July. Next thing I know, they're throwing cinnamon rolls into the mash of the beer. Next thing I knew, and they had it distributed, canned, everything ready to go. And so, like, I understand the pace of it for sure. But I did love you guys' cider. I love the ginger touch to it. That was refreshing. Because you don't see that in ciders. Like you said, it's usually like dry, semi-dry, or semi-sweet and things like that. You don't really get something with like, that's a legitimate spice. That's not like a cute little like, oh, we'll add a little sea salt to add a saltiness to it. Like that's ginger. Like you fuck up with ginger, it could get too spicy. You know what I mean? Like,
right. We've been seeing a few of ciders with ginger now, because I just drank one last night.
Whose was it?
Ooh, that sucker was good.
Whose was it?
It was. Hold on, I have a picture of it.
Shine a light on it.
Oh yeah. While you find that glass, I'm pouring up another cider from the cidery.
Is it the same place?
It's the Hudson North.
Oh yes. That ginger citrus. That is really good.
I need to try that.
So refreshing.
That sounds good.
So
right there.
Yeah, that was really good. Really
it was.
Good. We're actually doing a haul today after this.
That's why I had to steal my sister's ring late.
Yeah,
there you go.
We're doing a CiderCon haul.
Mm-hmm.
So be on the lookout for that. It's all of the ciders that we received from everyone at CiderCon.
And normally we'll do a post, but we've been trying to diversify our content. So we're doing a video tasting for the first time. So that should be interesting.
Be on the lookout.
Yes. Oh, I definitely will. That'd be cool. So like, how many are you gonna do on the video? Are you gonna do like all of them, 3 or 4?
So we took, well, at least
I thought we were gonna do all of them.
Yeah, we took pictures of all of them.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna be kind of like a mashup, low key. I feel like we could do. We have a TikTok. We do have a TikTok.
There you go.
I mean,
I was gonna ask, have y'all upped y'all's game since Bruising Banter?
Right, we have a
She
TikTok.
has.
And I be trying. I mean, a couple of our videos on TikTok, you know, they got a couple hundred views, so it's cool.
We're doing,
but we don't post on TikTok as much as we do on Instagram, and we just got a Twitter, maybe like after or right when we went to CiderCon, so that was the beginning of February. We just got a Twitter. So, I mean, I feel like because a lot of our engagement is happening on Instagram, but I'm not lost upon that. You know, you got to get with the times, and so that's why we're going to try to do like some video content.
Yes,
we've actually been asked to do some, I guess, like TikToks with 3 guys in a cider. There are 3 guys who also highlight ciders and stuff like that. They're from, I believe, New York, so.
Okay.
But they want to do like a cute little TikTok together too. I mean, like people, like we said earlier, like the people in the cider industry, they're super cool. They're super nice, super friendly. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And everyone's like, oh, if you need help with this. So it was cool that they reached out to us like, oh, do you guys want to do something? So we're trying to figure something out with that. Yeah. But yeah, no, we're trying to keep what we don't want is our page to just look like pictures of cans. We just don't want it to be like can.
That's cool sometimes, but switch it up.
Yeah. So we also want to talk now. Like, I guess in our captions we discuss like, our reviews of the ciders, but now we're like, no, how about we get in front of our camera and verbally say and let people know, like they see us and hear from our mouths, like, hey, I like this cider, I like this about this cider. And yeah, I guess try to be as candid as possible without being disrespectful, of course. So yeah.
Gotcha. As you guys were talking about that, I poured up another Diskin cider. It's called BTC, or Bourbon Tart Cherry. So it has a little bit of, I think they barrel aged it a little bit because it's got a little like bourbon whiskey in there. You know,
do you like it?
Oh, this is one of my favorite ciders from them because I'm a stout drinker when it comes to beer. So I love bourbon barrel aged stuff from 6 months to 50-month aged brews. So like anytime there's bourbon whiskey, and being from the South, whiskey kind of just naturally runs through your DNA. If you're Black and live in the South and you're born in the South, you're just born with whiskey in your blood. So anytime I see bourbon barrel aged, anything whiskey barrel aged, I don't even look at who made it. I just pick it up. I'm like, ooh, that's barrel aged? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, another one? Yeah. Like, it's not even a question. Then next thing I know, it's just my whole beer shelf, bourbon barrel aged stuff I sit on.
And see, that's good to know that, like, so then there's a market there. So now, you know, if we were to have like a cider, then we would be like, all right, so we know to put our barrel aged or anything like that, like whiskey, like those kinds of ciders.
You'll have my attention.
Right. See?
What the cider? I know they ain't get a barrel somewhere. What? Okay.
What? Right.
I'll DM y'all immediately. So y'all sending me like 3-4 packs, right? Cool.
Of course. We look out for the cookout.
Right. Oh, look at the sip.
Oh, yeah. This is good. So this is going to be drank like water. So don't mind.
Color on it, too. What's the ABV on it?
It's in that 5.8. So it's not too strong. They usually make things between about 5.5 to 6.7, somewhere in there. They don't make anything super strong, which is great. I usually drink my ciders when it's a little bit warmer out, but I had the Cider Jawns on, so I felt like it'd be disrespectful not to drink a cider on the episode. Right. So it's the least I can do, right?
We like sour beers.
Love sour beer.
Oh yeah, I got some breweries here that got sour beers here. So if y'all ever in Nashville for whatever reason, holla at your boy. So
no, I'll definitely be coming down. My sister is about to graduate from school. Well, next year, so I feel like I haven't visited her really because of the pandemic. So I'm like, all right, well, she's at TSU.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay, yeah. I went to Belmont, so I was around the corner, but I hung around TSU a little bit.
Right.
Had family that went there, so I feel like I went there, but not really going there.
Yeah, I feel terrible because she's in the band and like we ain't seen her at home.
Oh, she's an aristocrat. Oh Lord,
she is.
Oh man, she is an aristocrat up in Nashville.
She is. Can't tell her nothing. Love you, girl.
Oh yeah, she's a national celebrity. Yeah, you really can't say nothing when you come here. People know she's in the band. They excuse me.
Oh, they know that she wear all her gear. She be wearing her stuff, her swag, whatever they call it. I call it paraphernalia, but she was like, "That's only for drugs." And I was like, "Oh, is it?" Oh
no, is that what they do it for? Like
that's what I thought.
I was like, I thought so too. I guess they keep us hip.
Like they do keep us hip.
Nelia?
I don't know.
I hate these kids. I swear, every other day I hear them doing something. I'm just like, oh, sit down. God.
I don't know. I'm not in no organization, so I don't know.
Like, who knows? Like,
no, that's definitely a thing. You go to school and then they're just like, oh, did you pledge? Oh, did you do this? Oh, I was like, no, I just went to class.
We had to explain.
Sorry, I'm boring.
Right, I did not. I didn't pledge either. My school didn't have the black frats I wanted, so.
They don't do the thing there so we went to a predominantly white college, but in our city, there's a network. I don't know what they call it.
I think you cross pledge. You can do grad chapter or you cross pledge.
There were people.
Yeah, you go to another school and do it.
It's a city.
It's like a citywide chapter where the network is a bunch of the PWIs in our city because there's only like 2 HBCUs here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the South.
Who the HBCUs here?
Lincoln and Cheney.
Oh, I wasn't thinking. I thought you were talking about like directly in.
Oh no! I was thinking about the state of Pennsylvania because we don't. It's not like the South. I think sometimes the South takes that for granted, where they're like, oh, you didn't go to HBC, and it's like, yeah, we got 2 options for schools.
Yeah.
Or I have to go out of state.
Or, yeah, I was about
so
to
if
say.
you can't afford to leave your state, which I was one of those people. Yeah.
Well, I'm from Jersey, and
you didn't go far neither.
They were trying to get me to go to Rutgers.
That's where I'm going to.
I know about Rutgers, and I'm not.
You know what?
From that area.
What did you? I didn't end up going, but I applied. I just didn't end up going. But what was on Rutgers?
I don't know. It was too close to home. My mom went there. My aunts went there.
Oh yeah, I
can you imagine? They'd be like, "Ashley, come home." No. So Philly was far enough, but also close enough. So
that's like Nashville from Atlanta for me, because I would have gone to Morehouse.
Right.
Because that's my dad went to Morehouse, my mom went to Spelman, so they're the classic Spellhouse couple.
Oh, you're Spellhouse, right? Oh,
yes,
baby,
I am a Spellhouse. I'm a product of Spellhouse. So me and my 2 older sisters. So.
Oh no, I appreciate my alumni because it led me to my friends. But I was pissed when I had to stay in Philly to go to school. I wanted to go out of state so bad.
Listen, we some expensive ass friends. I will say that.
I'm in a lot of debt. Just get out of state, so it's just
right.
But also,
you know, it's crazy. Our school.
So that's why I didn't go, because I got a scholarship. Right. So my mom was like, "You going right down the street?" And at the time, we lived literally 10 minutes driving. My dad, so we had a shuttle service where you can take it to off-campus things, but within a certain radius. My dad lived so close to the school that I would take the shuttle to do my laundry.
There you go.
That's how close it was. No, it wasn't far enough, and I just felt like I'm still in Philly. That's why when I graduated, I just packed up and moved to California.
I'm sick of this shit. I'm out.
I did.
I was like, I ain't going to Pittsburgh. I'm going to another state on that side.
They was complaining about that too. Of all the places you could go, you can go halfway across the country. Yes, bye.
There's our school had a good, they have a good program. What is that, like food sciences or something like that?
Yes, it's a good school. I'm not gonna, it's a good school.
And I only say that because there are 2 other people.
Yes.
In Philadelphia who also
went there.
Also went to our school, and one other person was at Barrel and Flow Fest. And 2 locals.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So one of the guys from 2 locals also went to our school.
Yep.
And then there is a young woman who has French toast bites, and she did. Is that like a collab with, who was that with?
Yards
Brewing, and so she has a French toast bites beer.
And when I tell you, this French toast bites ale is so good.
That sounds delicious. She also went
to our school too. So I mean, our school, low key, they should probably
cranking out brewers.
Right, I was gonna say they should probably look into that. I think that would be a thing for them.
They do have a good food science. I'm listening to you talking. You're right. This food science program was good while we were there.
Yeah, while we were there. Yeah, so.
Even though we didn't take it.
And there's food marketing. They have food marketing and all that stuff.
Oh, they do, because the Campbell's guy went there or something. So, something with Campbell's.
Oh, wow.
It's an all right school.
That was no knock to the alma mater, but if we're being honest, it wasn't my first choice. But not because of it. It's just because I'm from
They
here.
had 2 people at Barrel. Well, they had 3 people at Barrel and Flow Fest.
They did.
So. Right. So.
No, I feel that. I feel that. That's like Belmont.
Yeah. So I mean, and we were talking yesterday about trying to possibly do some events in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we wanted to be geared towards the Black brew culture in Philadelphia. So we saw and appreciate what Day did in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
We also want to do something. Yes. Maybe not clearly not that large on that scale, but we want to do something small here in Philly with the few individuals that are here to put on an event. And then we also want to do something with Women in Brew here. So we want to do a couple of different events here in Philadelphia as far as what our platform stands for. So we want to push forward women. We want to push forward people of color, Black people.
Black,
so
I was just about to say.
Yeah, Black people. So
you know how I feel about them.
I know.
Uh-oh. I need to make up some sort of question about that.
Right. So,
No, I don't want to get us in trouble.
but so we just want to push those things forward, and we want to make space for those people like us. So we were just brainstorming yesterday about some events that we want to do to make that happen. So look out for that, hopefully within the next year or so.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope. And I definitely want to talk about representation in cider and making sure y'all create tables, y'all create space for people, Black people, excuse me, more specifically, because I definitely feel like I agree with Jazz and her mentality. She ain't say it, but I feel like I already agree, so I'm going to say I agree.
I'm trying to be PC here, okay? I'm trying to
I just told y'all off camera, like, y'all can talk the shit y'all want to talk. Like,
I know.
Honestly, I feel like, she's right. That should have not been said out loud, but it's how I feel.
But you know what you said yesterday also was like, instead of always being invited to the table, not to say that we aren't grateful for being invited to the table or with everyone that we met at CiderCon, but also because it's like, all right, we're being invited into you guys' space, but how about we create our own space in cider?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? So in our own space.
What were we looking it up? We were looking something up, and there was just a lot of articles about these organizations trying to like inclusion, diversity, inclusion.
I was on that team for my job.
Yeah, and it's like, I appreciate it.
Everyone is doing that.
Like, yes, you should be aware of diversity. Yes, we should have, but we should have diversity of mind and thought in general. And so, yes, it's wonderful that you're recognizing this is a blind spot and you want to fix it. But as a Black woman, it is a little like we have to waiting for someone to make room for you is just
or to welcome you, because in all honesty, when we were going into CiderCon, we're like, all right,
we had our reservation,
right? And so it's literally,
thank God everybody was so nice.
There was 805 people at CiderCon.
Okay.
We can
and
count.
There may have been,
we can count all
15. And that's me being 15, 20. That's me
being generous.
Right.
To being generous.
So,
wow.
I mean, very generous. So, like,
there's work to be done.
And that's not even people who are actually in cider. So you got to think about, like, Day was a speaker.
Yeah.
What's the woman who was also, there was 2 Black speakers.
Yes. With the cocktails.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
they were good too.
They were good. But yeah, so you have individuals like that were there, but it's like they're not necessarily like Day is part of Beer, right? Mm-hmm. So and then there was a random person that was like a guest of someone or a friend of someone. So you have like stuff like that. So it's like, right, I think it was us. There was another person. Who was it that had the cider scholarship?
Yes, she has a cidery in Winehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, and then who else?
Cider Jawns.
Cider Jawns were there. Yes, they were there. They actually did a BIPOC meet and greet.
That was so fun.
That's
cool. We got to meet. There was Robbie from, what's the name of
Tanuki. I've been calling it Tanuki because I can't help myself, but it's Tanuki
cider.
He's in California. Yeah.
So there was
going to be in our hall.
We got to meet people, so I mean it's cool, awesome. But no, it wasn't enough of us. So
no, I feel that.
We want to. That's what I mean. Like, that's the whole purpose of Cider Jawns, is to create the table, basically. Like, we want to sit here, not only be like, all right, it's cool, y'all inviting us to y'all table, but we also want to create our own.
Take the opportunity, but we never lose sight of why we do what we do, ever. Blackness is at the core of everything we do.
That's why we're here. That's why the Bearded Brother exists, is for that.
And I don't want anybody to ever question or forget that.
Right, we're the Cider Jawns, and we are very Black.
And we don't play games.
Visibly Black, right. There's no whitewashing us. So, I mean, And I think, honestly, think that the people at CiderCon, they appreciate, like, especially the people that was really, excuse my language, but the people that was really fucking with us, and even like
I went down there with my box braids,
right,
and my John bamboo earrings,
right.
Like, hi.
They even reached out to us, like when people reach out to us after the fact, after CiderCon, all the blowing smoke up your ass is all said and done.
Yes.
Like people still want
following
like,
up, so like you meant it. That's it.
Right.
So I was like,
it.
oh my god, they really like it. They were just saying that because we were
You
black
really
and we were there.
Right? No,
Right.
like they're really no. We fuck with what y'all doing, what y'all trying to do, and it's needed. Like right. So
which was like, oh, yes,
yes. It's like Marshawn Lynch says, "I'm about that action, boss."
But yes, because we know that for everything, like there's an aspect of every industry where you kind of have to like quote unquote play the game, and we know that, and every industry has gatekeepers and people who you need to like you so that other doors can open. And it's like it's a game sometimes that needs to be played, and we can play it, but it's dope that we're finding ourselves not having to. Like we're just showing up in spaces as ourselves.
Yeah.
And people fuck with it.
Yeah, it's just like
because being fake is exhausting.
Oh, trust me, I understand. It's like you understand you got to play the game, but you're willing to play it to a certain extent. I was like, I'll play the first 2 quarters, but quarters number 3 and 4.
After that, I'm like,
overtime? Hell no, I ain't gonna do overtime game. Hell no, I'm just playing the first half and that's it. And
we'll be.
I think we're definitely like that though. Like, all right. We leaving this situation. We out. We've had enough, and that's it.
We've had instances where I was like, all right now.
Yes, it's in the beer world too, so I already know. I already know.
Right. We keep it cute, but
yeah,
I don't think they know who they're talking to.
But luckily, it hasn't been too much of that.
No.
That's good.
It has been too much of that. So thank God, because we definitely were like bracing ourselves. Because we're entering a predominantly white industry.
Right.
So.
It's like, oh God, I don't want to have to get spicy.
Yeah. Right. But y'all did it. Now I'm even more mad because y'all made me do it and I wanted to not do it.
It's always that, right? So you understand.
Oh, yeah. It was like, I got to cuss you out, but I got to cuss you out harder because you brought me here. We didn't have to go there. You could have just shut your ass up.
And then you get mad at yourself for having somebody take you out your character. It's a whole thing.
You got to go home and lay down. Like it's 2 p.m. and it's already like your day's already ruined.
Wow, we're not even speaking that into our experience.
No, I don't want that to happen for y'all at all. And I'm glad it's not.
So we've met enough people to kind of know what the vibe is, but initially going into it, because we did go to a PWI, so we were just kind of like, if this is anything like what that experience was like, we're gonna have to like
an experience, okay?
Yes. Oh, I know. Well, we PWI products together. Like I went to a music school that didn't have.
I think it prepares you for life.
Yeah. It did.
It kind of does.
And it's like you know when to code switch. You don't code switch all the time, but you know when to. You're like, okay.
You know code switch in a different right.
I don't do it all the time, but if I gotta do it, I'm like, I need this person to get me here. As soon as I'm here, I don't fuck with that person no more. So
nah, I'm not even gonna hold you. I've gotten to a point, especially even at work, I don't do it. I don't got time. Y'all know I don't have time to do that with y'all. And I even in class, like I don't got time to be trying to what is that? Coax make sure you feel comfortable. Nope.
Especially depending on the class. So like if you're in any sort of class where y'all talking about anything real, you get a lot of people who your feelings is gonna have to be hurt because
our first day of class, we did a SWOT analysis of the cider industry.
I already know the chaos of violence is about to ensue.
I was sitting there waiting for somebody to say like,
why would they?
There isn't. So
we're the only Black people in the class.
But I mean, we're on a scholarship.
Yes,
and the scholarship is for.
Yes, it's for that, so that diverse people can be
can be a part of
exactly
cider. And I think this is like they've had several people. This isn't the first time that they've done it, but kind of bring it up in the class. And I don't know, people are I just hate to have to be that person all the time though. To just be like, black, 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 and it's just like,
especially in a space where they're like expecting, well, we know she's gonna bring up Breeze.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You're damn right, because you wasn't. So tag me in.
But yeah, it gets to the point where like you have to at some point because it needs to be discussed.
It needs to be said,
unfortunately. So I mean, what are we, like trailblazers for the cider industry?
I don't feel comfortable with that word, but sure.
I mean, we're not the only ones though. I'm not gonna say like we're solely.
No,
like,
I know,
but
extreme words make me uncomfortable in general.
But I would say in the cider industry.
Like I would never say I'm excellent at anything. I would be like, oh yeah, I'm good. I could be better.
We've been recognized by the ACA. I think that's pretty legit, right? Like
that's very legit. Like
this is going to be a journey of her helping me like pat my own back because
that's pretty legit. So I feel like trailblazers. Fuck yeah, I'm going.
Cool. Well, she blazed the trail and I'm on it.
Give me that title, okay? I'll gladly. But yes, and of course. We have followed the steps of other women because there are definitely other cider makers, Black women cider makers for sure, who we are following the steps of. Like, so now, granted, it's only a handful of us, but a hand. Right. So, which we'll also be doing a post on.
Yes.
So look out for that for next
Watch it, baby.
Right. So, but yeah, yeah, we are trailblazers of the cider industry because hopefully there'll be more of us to come.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm hoping for. I really hope that there's like a Black guy or something that comes on board somewhere, or maybe he's out there right now. That's like,
and we gotta find him.
Right, just gotta find him, like to make him known and put the spotlight on him and let people know. Because like right now, I look at it and I'm like, well, damn, it's a lot of women in cider. But not a lot of Black people in cider. So if we find a Black man,
and I love that it can be. So one of the things I loved about CiderCon, and I'm excited to go back, is like, so we were there on scholarship, and so we tailored the classes the sessions to be useful to where we are now. Obviously, as we grow and we start to kind of refine our cider making, more of the other sessions as far as like orcharding is concerned, like those things will be a little bit more applicable. And I'm like really excited because it's an industry. And when I think about like how just like the state of Black farms in America is so sad. And like when we initially started homebrewing, and I was like, how dope would it be if we could just like all Black everything? We could get all our apples from Black farms. We could just, and then you start to like look into why that may or may not be the most feasible. It's really unfortunate. And so it's just like anything that we can do as we kind of move through this industry to kind of like from A to Z fix it and highlight and be more inclusive. I'm really excited for that. Everything from like jobs, farms to everything, like distribution, all of that. Like
we wanted to be Black from the root to the tooth.
From the root to
okay, Southern terminology. Come on now.
It's possible. If not Black, then women. So
it's like a hierarchy. It's like if it's not Black, then women. If not Black, then local. Like we try to like support our like local.
So there's
I'll definitely support a local farm
like,
for sure.
Even like just something as simple as like our logo or anything like that. We
all
want
of it.
To be
who's designing your can, like all of it. Like you really have to pay attention to like where you're sourcing things from. It can't just be because it's the cheapest. Like who are you putting whose pockets are you lining when you're doing your business? Just be more aware of that. And if we can get Black distribution, why not?
And in our communities, like we want to bring back to our community. So
I don't know the statistic, but unfortunately our dollars circulate outside of ourselves at a faster rate than it
it's
should
like
be.
Hours. I think it's like 6 hours. Something crazy
it stays
like
in the
that.
community before it circulates out, and it's really sad, and it pisses me off. And anybody who's from an inner city knows that other races are able to own businesses in our communities as opposed to us.
We're up in Decatur, Zone 6, Atlanta, in Georgia, so
it's infuriating. So it's like, well, what can we do?
Right.
We're just trying to do what we can do.
Right. We've already discussed where we want our future cideries at.
Mm-hmm.
and those kinds of things. And we want to make sure that they
it's very intentional.
It's very intentional, right? So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know you guys have a lot of intention in your cider school, and I think that's super dope because I love y'all's tenacity. Listening to you guys and doing my research on you guys, y'all are beasts when it comes to like.
What research did you do? Like, what you turned up? What you know?
Just a little bit. I know that like going to the cider school, you guys are starting it this year, and kind of getting into that and working and getting the scholarship, and talking about that. But I had just with that, I know you guys kind of wanted to go in to learn that, but like. For me personally, like I wanted to be a cicerone in craft beer. That's like the sommelier. I can't even say the word for cider. I'm gonna embarrass myself. I might hurt myself trying to say it. So what Ashley said, that word, that one.
That's the one.
I know some of these words. But like talking about that, I have the issue of like, oh, I want to learn this because I want to learn this, but also I have the twice as good mentality sometimes that kind of like eats at way me where I'm like, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for Chad? And make sure he takes me seriously. And I was like, I wonder what your mentality is with cider school. Do you have the same mentality or are y'all like, nah, fuck this. I want to know this because I want to know it. And I don't care.
I want to know it because I want to know it. And I understand what you're saying because I think it's something that most like children are taught. As I've moved through the world and realizing that to me, and this is probably going to sound really terrible, but I feel like equality will be reached when Black people are allowed to be just as average as everybody else. And it's okay. I think that it's okay that we are still learning. I think it's okay that we make mistakes. I think it's unfair that unless you present excellence, it's kind of like frowned upon because everybody else gets to learn on the job, but we're expected to show up and already know what we're doing. And I don't think that it's fair. Huh?
And be perfected at it and like have a level of perfection to it.
And so so over the years I've just learned to kind of like give myself grace in that. And so to answer your question, I recognize that eyes are going to be on us, and we don't always necessarily have the luxury. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it if I don't know everything, because a lot of people don't know everything. And we talk to a lot of cider people, and they're like, "Oh yeah," like they're learning as they go. And I'm like, you know what?
Even the people that were doing some of the sessions, they were being asked some questions, and they'd be like, "I don't know about that."
Yeah.
Get back to you.
And it's okay if you don't know. And it's just like, you know what? We have to give ourselves grace and how people feel about it. Because honestly, if you're coming into our space with the mindset that if we don't hit a bunch of points, you just feel like we're not like deserving or good enough, you were going to feel that way regardless of what we did. And all we can do is just be ourselves. And how you feel about it or how you see us is kind of, we can't do anything about that.
Yeah, no, we definitely wanted to do this for us.
Yeah.
Because we were already like, we took the initiative to go and take classes at a small cidery here in Philadelphia. First. And we paid for that ourselves. Before then, we were looking at stuff on YouTube and books and doing trial and error in my kitchen. So it's not a matter of like, we legit did this for us, and we wanted to hone our skills and our knowledge, like sharpen our knowledge on cider, and not to be respected by those insiders. It's just for our own, because we want to make a cider that we like, that we enjoy, and we want other people. That's really honestly the only reason why we want to take our education a step further. Now, Jasmine, I think that we both are very we can appreciate education, right?
Oh yeah, we're nerds. So you ain't gotta tell me to read a book.
Right. So I think that us going to cider school and wanting to go to cider school, like that, you have to actually want to do this and like be in it.
Because let me tell you how adamant I was about. I'm like, I don't know if I can go back to school.
Right. I at least she went to law school.
And we talked about doing this while I was still in school.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in school. I hadn't even finished that. So I was like, yo, I don't know if I could go back. Like, I need a break.
Need a minute.
Yeah, like for a while, I stopped reading for fun because I had to read so much for school. And I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, then you get into it and it's like, all right, we're not able to replicate the batches that we're doing. Like, so let's dig into why that is. What are we doing wrong? Like, we need to know.
And it's like, it's not like something that, and like, it's not like you're a singer and you can be naturally a cider maker. Like, there's a lot of work and trial and error, and there's a lot of like, you need to read. You need to study. You need to know these kinds of things. Like, it's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of science, a lot of math in it. So,
which neither of us
went
to school for, by the way.
Me neither.
I fucking hated chemistry. Okay, maybe give me bio and.
I was like, so you know how you have your like courses you have to take.
Yeah,
you have to take a
bio school chemistry. I had to cheat my way through in high school. Sorry, Ms. Zig.
Right.
Sorry, Dr. Zigma. I cheated my way through that. I had to.
No,
I had to.
Like.
Sorry, Doc, but
you took biology too.
I took biology, physics and biology. Okay, but chemistry, and that's why I was like, what the fuck we get ourselves into?
Why did we think this was a good idea?
At one point, a few months ago, when we were doing not this batch, but whatever batch we did prior to this, however long that was. And we needed to do like conversions.
Bitch, I was like,
we needed to do some conversions. What? I was like, all right, so how many grams?
Yo, he was in there.
Those are big words. Since I don't know what they mean, I'm gonna take them as disrespect. So whoever said that to you, they need to watch their mouth because they talk real crazy. Y'all.
Those are the things. And then when we get to like the sessions or even in class, they start saying something. I'm texting Jasmine like, "What the fuck is going on? Do you understand? Do you follow?" Because and a lot of the people that are in our class, they own orchards,
yes,
or they are already working at a cidery or those things. So they already have a leg up on us. Mm-hmm. So they're asking advanced questions, and we're like,
"This." I thought. Literally, I was like, girl, I thought this was the intro.
We're like, what the fuck?
I hate to figure out what the advanced classes are. I was like,
right.
You better have to open the cidery right after you graduate this semester.
They talk about the test.
Oh, there's going to be a test. That'll be fun.
Oh, Jesus.
I hope we pass. We'll pass.
I like the confidence.
It's, yeah.
We thought we were going to have to sit.
Oh, I was ready.
We thought we was going to have to sit for the test. For at CiderCon.
So part of our scholarship through here, it was registration for the festival, for the conference, travel and lodging, and the first two levels of the cider, like the certified cider professional like exam. There's two levels to it, and so they covered that. And so one of those tests occur at CiderCon, like you sit in, and that's part of like they administer it there. Yeah, they administer it there. And so when we knew that we got the scholarship, maybe a couple weeks beforehand, we were like, I wonder, do they expect us to sit? She was like, girl, we can't sit.
I was freaking out. I was like, we can't apply for this. We can't.
No, yes, exactly. She was like, we can't apply for this because look, if the exam, like this is in like less than a month. Like we can't sit for this. I was like, girl, if they paying for it, I'm just going to sit and do my best.
I was like, Lord. I'm thinking it's going to be like the SATs or something like that. Like, oh, Lord, they're going to keep my score. And then I have to keep taking it.
They average that shit out. And be like, okay, you got like this.
I was like, well, if they pay for it, it's insulting if we don't.
No, I said, I don't want to apply.
She did. She didn't want to apply. She was like, we're not ready. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. Let's see what happens.
I'm always the one. We're like, we balance each other out because I'm always the one that's like,
she's like, oh no, we can't do this. And I'm like, girl, let's go.
Like, we
gotta bring your ass. Come on, we here now. We in it.
I'm good for like us like being somewhere. She's like, I don't think we could go into that room. And I'll just be like, let's just see. Sometimes I get in, sometimes I don't. But you know, I have to try.
I'm a scary ass. Okay.
It's cool. She is scary.
I'm cautious. Make sure I follow all the rules.
We call her Paranoid Polly.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's fine. You need that though because I am not cautious enough.
Yeah, and I was
So
like, well,
some of the
hold
things,
up.
and she has saved us as a lot, because there were some things that I wanted to do where she's like, all right, Jazz, like that's not a bad idea, but hold on.
It's not the best idea.
That's right. It's not the right time. I'm really bad at like time and place. I just feel like, whoa, I feel like once, because I'm also one of those people that once I get a thought, I have to say it. And so then once I have a thought, like I want to do it. And she just be like, all right, hold on. Right. Hold yours. Well, we can't do that like right now, like this. No.
Let's think this through.
Yeah, no. Because I see the end result and I don't think about the steps it takes to get there.
Right. I'm like, hold on.
I'm really bad at that part.
Let's talk about this out loud together as a team.
Yeah, we have to do that because I see end result. Like I'm big picture, and she's really good. She's detail oriented, so she's really good at making sure the details can get us to what my end is.
I'm a project manager for my 9 to 5, so
and I don't do projects. I just be like, oh, we're gonna. So in my mind, honestly, when we started homebrewing, in my mind, we were already pouring at Essence Fest.
Yes.
Mind you, we've never done that before,
right?
And you need people like that, but it's
right,
like
the ambition and the and the vision, of course. But I'm like, all right, but what are the steps to get there?
I'm like, oh, no, we're gonna figure it out.
Right.
There you go. Ash is just like the operations, and Jazz is just like, okay, this is our end result, and this is where we're gonna get to. And Ash is like, okay, how do we get there? Let's talk about it together.
Right. A lot of conversations start with, oh, I have this idea. She's like, okay, so how are we going to do that? I'm like, oh, I didn't think about all that.
Right. So I'm like, all right, so.
So she said that, let's not do that at all.
There were things I wanted to do that it wasn't the best. In hindsight, it was like, yeah, that was probably for the best that we didn't do.
I tried to tell her. She had to figure out her own.
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's the beauty of our partnership, though, too. So it works. It definitely balances itself out.
Yep.
Definitely does.
Because I just be over here with a bunch of big ideas like, all right, now what?
Now what we do?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I thought you knew.
Right.
No, but I definitely love that. And before we wrap up, I always end with a cheers, which is just essentially bless you, which is just the beer version of beer or cider version of giving flowers to people as they sit here in front of me. And just in case you never hear it again, I love following you guys. I'm a massive fan of you guys. I'm not saying that just to be nice. Like I've been a fan of you guys, and I love your tenacity. I love how y'all are just literally kicking every door in and making people respond to you instead of you responding to people and things like that. And so y'all are like, okay, we're inside a game. We're going to learn every little bit about this bitch. And we go come here, dominate with an iron fist. We're not coming here to exist. And I love that about you guys. Cause like, I try to be like you guys when I grow up. I do definitely appreciate you like talking about like, oh, I have these big ideas and I want to move on them, and I don't care what happens. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I know I want this to happen. And I love that balance between you guys and you finding each other as friends, business partners and things like that. And I definitely hope all this turns into something where to the point where I was like, hey, I interviewed them way back when. Hope they remember me. And like, y'all forget about old people like me. Don't forget all. And so I definitely appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So
you'll be seeing us. Yes. We'll be reaching out to you.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I'm always down for a collaboration of some sort.
Are you going to be at Barrel and Soul Fest this year?
It's a game time decision because I'm getting married first week in September.
Yes, congratulations!
Right, congratulations.
Thank you. So September 4th is our wedding date. So and we
do you know where?
It'll be in Nashville. So where we met. We met here in Nashville.
Where'd you guys meet? Not to be all up in your business, but like
because we single.
Yeah, because I want to be married. No, because I want to be married one day. So like when I meet people and they're like young, and I'm just like, oh, where'd you meet? Like, how'd you know she was the one?
For me,
like,
we met online. We met on Tinder. We swiped right on each other.
I don't
on on Tinder.
I'm mad.
So everybody's been meeting their husbands and wives on
You
Tinder.
don't want to know what I've met on Tinder.
Oh, it's chaos on both sides. Trust me, but like,
I guess I should be blessed, right?
We were lucky. We were just really lucky. Like I got to a point where I was kind of like tired of playing the game, so I was like, "What?" I asked her. I was like, "What's your expectations here?" Like, so we know what the deal is.
It's a great question.
We hung out on our first date for like 5 hours, and then we just kept hanging out. And then I knew she was the one the moment she walked in the door. For me, that's
everyone. They all say that,
but that's the truth. As corny as it sounded, I knew
I love it.
No, it's not corny. I love it because when you are dating someone and you feel like
that's real,
I love to hear that because it just confirms to me that when I'm dating someone and I'm just like, I don't think he likes me like that. It's because he probably doesn't, and I should just move on because men know, right?
They know, and communication, like. Over communicate. Right. That's my like. If you had to force a piece of advice out of me, is to communicate every intention, every emotion at the time, rather than be like, I think Jasmine like me. I think we fuck with each other, and you might be like, this nigga corny as hell. I stand his ass up the next time I get a chance. Like, they just having that conversation and be willing to have that conversation and be honest. Yeah. Honesty, truth, honesty.
So
it'll take you a lot farther than you think it is. Even if like, I want to be with that guy, and you be honest, and he like runs. Take that as a good sign. That's okay. It would have been heartache and pain later. So
yeah, we recognize that it didn't work out with any of those men because it wasn't supposed to. Mm-hmm. We know.
Yeah, and it's just is what it is. Let's just you gotta know what to charge up to the game and know
in hindsight, it's like, what was I thinking?
Exactly. It's like you'll see him on social media like, I dodged that bullet. But yeah, that's our story pretty much. So
that's so cute. Where was your first date? I'm just curious.
We went to a Vietnamese restaurant, and then we went to a burger place that had spiked milkshakes, and then we went to a rooftop bar, and we walked around.
When he said they hung out for 5 hours, you gotta do something.
Right. And she wore heels. That's how I knew I was in there, like swimwear. She wore heels and she was walking 5 hours.
And she was walking for 5 hours.
Oh yeah, she like you, cause.
Oh yeah, I was like, I knew I was in it to win it on that first date. Then I was like, I have 2 older sisters, so I know how heels work.
You understand?
So I was like, you still out here and your feet ain't screaming at you? Wow, I got a chance.
When is Barrel and Flow Fest this year?
It's in August.
It's August like 13th. But we also got a bunch of weddings we're either in or attending starting.
You guys have a social calendar to attend to.
Yes. So it's like we got 6 weddings, including ours.
6? What? That's
because everybody said they couldn't do it during the pandemic. So
my gosh, I didn't even think about that. There's a lot of these postponed weddings that are popping back up now that things are kind of
and bachelor and bachelorette parties, and we got our showers and.
Let me tell you how I'd be wearing the same dress.
Right. I might get 2 suits and just cycle through them. I ain't got that problem. No one judges guys when it comes to like formal wear. I gotta get 2 suits, get it fitted, and.
Nobody's gonna question you on that.
Flip flop. I just change the shirt. That's it.
Switch the tie. Just switch the color tie.
Tie and shirt. That's it. Maybe throw in a different pair of socks. Maybe.
Right.
Is that new suit? Yeah. You see the socks? Like. I was like, I wore these at every wedding you've seen me at.
Oh, that's so cool. That'll be your summer is
jam-packed.
Yes. If I get a collab for Bear and Flow where they can fly me out and all that, I'll do it. But if not, I'm just gonna be like, you know what, like I'm trying to make it next year. So
same for us, I think. Same for us. So
perfect.
I mean, no, I guess we want to still go if we don't have a collab.
We're a little bit closer. We can still drive there, and it won't be like a big thing.
Oh yeah. So you may or may not. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no. So it's gonna be a game time decision.
If we see you there, got a shot to holla.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, definitely. How can people keep up with the Cider Jawns and become fans of you, like I am fans of you guys on social media and things like that?
Yes.
You can follow us on Instagram at the THE Cider CIDER Jawns at JAWNS. That's on IG. That's on IG, TikTok, and Twitter. We don't have Facebook yet. Also, we're coming out with merch, so we'll have the Cider Jawns.
Yes, I was looking at that. I gotta get some stuff. So,
Jawn is a term that's normally used for women, so we'll probably bull is what they say in Philly for the guys. So we'll probably come out with cider bowls.
Once we figure out how we want to spell it,
right? So that's what we put a poll on our Instagram one time. Like, how do you guys want bowl to be
spelled out? I don't know, because we don't say that in the South. It's not a Southern term at all. We just call everybody bro. Like everybody's
a
bro.
real word, so the spelling can go either way.
Right, and, it's not a real word.
Even people in Philly, there was an overwhelming majority, but there were people from Philly that was like, "Y'all don't spell it like that."
No,
so it can go either way. But yeah, so look out for the merch. We have like a whole thing. So, and you know, me and Jasmine, we like music and stuff. So sometimes we might drop a playlist here and there. So those kinds of things, so that you can listen to tunes while you drink your cider. Those kinds of things. So we try.
I got a friend I got to connect y'all with. He does vinyls. He pairs vinyls with beer. So. So I'll DM you his page. He does really cool stuff for sure.
Oh, that'll be sick. Oh god.
Yeah, so we try to do like stuff like that, like here and there every once in a while, like during the holidays or stuff like that. So we just try to engage with our audience. So in any way possible.
Perfect. Well,
follow us on all those: TikTok, Instagram,
do that
Twitter,
myself
at the Cider Jawns.
Got it. As you heard it, people, it's the Cider Jawns. Follow them on all social media. Check out the website, ciderjawns.com. And you know where to follow your boy. It's the Bearded Brother on all social medias. Check out the website, thebeardedbrother.com. Get some merch. If you're a brewery or a cidery that wants to do a collab, holler at me. We can make something shake for sure. And of course, when you listen to this podcast, grab your friends. Good ass cider or good ass beer. Maybe both. And of course, drink up.